Shalom. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing. Shalom. Testing. Shalom. I'm going to give all the glory and praises to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. In salutation to the elders and apostle brothers that taught me this truth and sincerity and that let it spread the forgiveness heard. So the title of this lesson will be Hellenization in Grecian customs forcefully introduced, part 1. So I'm going to probably do this. I'm going to split into parts. So I'm going to do 30 minutes and then come back and finish off and do 30 minutes. Because Jake time span doesn't. So I'm just going to break it into parts. An hour and a half. This lesson going to be an hour and a half, and then the next lesson going to be an hour and a half. I do hope that this lesson will be edifying to the parents for YAHAWASHI. I'm going to get into it. All right, so now that we're at Hellenization. We use the word Hellenization. It refers to the adoption of Greek culture, religion, language, and identity by non-Greeks. Okay. So Hellenization was it was during the time of Hellenization period between 323 BCE. Okay. So between the death of Alexander the Great in 323 BCE and the conquest of Egypt by Rome, okay, in 30 BCE, okay, before the Common Era, okay, and that's when during the time that meaning Israelites, okay, but mainly Judah, okay, the Judah, Benjamin, Levi, okay, also known as Judea, was being Hellenized, okay, meaning what? That they were forcefully converted to the Grecian culture, or many of Judea, okay, Judah, Benjamin, many of them, wanted to become Grecians, right? Wanted to be converted to Greek, right? It goes in First Maccabees goes into that how in Israel there was a wicked man that made a covenant with the heathen, okay. There went out any man out of Judah, or to make a covenant with the heathen, okay. What to sell out to the heathens, right? To sell out their nation, to set out their customs, okay, their way, the law, their Hebrew lifestyle for the way of the heathen, the way of the Grecians, okay, to become like the Greek, to become like, to become like them, to become like the Grecians or the Edomites, okay, you know. So the non-Greeks was referring to the Hebrew Israelites, the of Judea, right? Those that practice the ways of our forefathers, okay, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay, they kept they honor the ways of our forefathers, kept the ways of the Lord, YAHAWASHI. Okay, when I mean kept the ways, I mean being circumcising, okay, circumcising, keeping the high holy days, keeping the sacrificial laws, etc. All right, um, so I got here in Second Maccabees. Um, Now, when you read here in the GNT, um, it reads something like this. Second Maccabees for in the GNT. Jason introduced Greek customs. Right now, this says he introduced. Right, I title this as the Grecian ways were forcefully introduced, and I'm going to tell you why or how it was forcefully introduced. Right, because when you ever forcefully up, uh, see, when you ever forcefully, okay, you mean in a strong and assertive manner, vigorously. Okay, this wasn't like you know, you know, the things that was done to convert to get our people to when I'm about the, I'm gonna read to you the how 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 he forcefully Jason forcefully introduced the Greek custom onto our um, unto his ultimately unto his nation. Okay, because he was a Hebrew. Okay, he was a Hebrew Israelite. You know, his Greek name, his Hebrew name was Joshua. Okay, you know, but he became a Hellenized Israelite. Right, he started living out the ways of the heathens. Okay, and he ultimately, you know, wanted his nation to follow his ways. Okay, to go down that same to err. Okay, to go off to sin. Okay, and I'm going to show you how he did it. He did it forcefully. So I'm going to read here in 2 Maccabees 7, or chapter 4, verse 7 reads, "But after the death of Seleucus, when Antiochus, called Epiphanes, took the kingdom, okay, Jason, the brother of Ananias, labored under hand to be his priest." Okay. He labored under hand to be high priest, meaning what? That, you know, um, and Onias, okay, so Jason, the brother of Onias, sorry, Onias, this is referring to Onias the third, okay, because there was three different Onias. Onias the first, Onias the second, Onias the third. This is Onias the third. Okay, he was opposed to the Hellenization. It was like, you know, ultimately he was opposed to his what his brother, okay, wanted, or whether what he, because his Jason, he was for Hellenization, he was corrupt. Or now he wasn't for or not he wasn't for Hellenization. He opposed it heavily. Okay. you know, and by law, Onias, he could have righteously killed his brother Jason if he was still alive. Okay, because of the practices he wanted Jason wanted to introduce to the nation of Israel. Okay, which I'll go back to worshiping other gods. Okay, sacrificing to other gods. Jason, the brother Onias, labor on the hand to be high priest, meaning whether he labored on the hand, he labored in wickedness. Okay, you know, not righteousness, wickedness. He went another way. Okay, you know, he didn't get chosen by the Lord Yabashasha. He didn't get appointed, you know, righteously by the Lord Yabashasha to become high priest. He wanted to be in that position for a reason. Okay, when you think of the role of high priest, they are the mediator between the people, okay, the nation of Israel, okay, and the Lord, Yahweh Shah, okay. And the high priest, he's a leader. He's He's ultimately the leader, okay. Because the king honored the high priest, okay. You know the the king looked to the high priest for spiritual direction, okay, or whether that be or direction just in general for wars, whether it be good to fight a war or not, you know, um, and the people look for the high priest for spiritual direction, right? So he wanted that position, okay, because he knew that will get him some pull, okay, in the nation, to you know make certain laws, etc. Okay. So promising unto the king by intercession 303 square talents of silver, and of another revenue 80 talents, right? So he was just offering the king. Um, he was basically this coming out all of this money, this talent, 20,000, 700,000. All right, all this is coming out of the treasury, okay, the temple of the temple, right? That money that was stored, okay, for the poor, and for ultimately when going to Tobias' grandson, right? Because when you read further back, it speaks about how the kings had the doors to the temple, okay, to take the money, to take the treasury, but all that was really it was stored for the poor, okay, and for Tobias' grandson, right? Now, Jason, knowing this, of being a Hebrew Israelite, he said that he promised unto the king to give him the this treasury, okay, this billions of dollars, a treasury that was stored up in the temple, okay, to get to get the high priest position, okay. So this is how he was laboring underhand, okay. This is what that means. This is what this word means, labor underhand. Him promising to the king, him laboring, okay, you know, finding a way, okay, to get the high priest position. He said, besides this, he promised to assign 150 more if he might have license to set him up a place for exercise and for the training up of youth in the fashions of the heathen, and to write them of Jerusalem by the name of Antiochus, right? Okay. Training up the youth in the fashion of the heathen, meaning what? Setting up, you know, because the when you, that word exercise, when you think of a gymnasium, you know, and and nakedness, right? The word gym goes back to naked, okay? And you know, and that how Jake work out, okay? That how heathens work out naked, you know. When you look up many of the different Greek images, right? They are naked, okay? The different Greek sports. Let's see, just search up something. For example, this image, he's naked, okay? Naked, right? And that was completely against, Scripture speaks about how we should not look upon each other nakedness, okay? You know, so now I'm gonna read this in GNT. Um, Jason also offered him an additional 250 pounds of silver for the authority to establish a stadium where young men could train and to rule the people of Jerusalem as a citizen of Antioch. Okay, right, but um, but yeah, as I've mentioned, he just wanted to introduce the ways of the heathen on Jacob. Okay, the fashions, the customs of the heathen on Judea. Okay, you know, because meaning what that he wanted to, because they also came with their gosh as well. Which when the king had granted and he had gotten into his hand the rule, he forthwith brought his own nation to the Greek fashion. Right. So when the king um, granted Jason to become high priest, um, he ultimately started to change the ways, the commandments, the laws, and started to set up the Greekish customs on and start implementing the Grecian custom in the law. Okay, he didn't change the law, because we still had a law, right? It's still the law didn't, like he didn't, but right? But he didn't, put in, you know, he didn't change the laws and, um, put the Greek laws into the Bible, so to speak. But he did introduce, he did introduce Greek ways that was that basically that's how he polluted the glory of Israel by introducing the Greek ways onto the nation of Israel, the Greek customs of Greek laws onto the nation of Israel. Okay, he says, he brought his own nation to the Greek fashion. The Greekish way of living, the Greek customs. Okay, and this is why he wanted that high priest position, because he knows that he could have, by him having this high priest position, he could, persuaded the whole nation to fall. He could, you know, he was in a position to have the whole nation to go off, right? You know, just by changing the law, just by you know um, just by introducing the Greek fashion, because the Greek fashion, was all about you know turning things upside down, right? It was a heathen custom. Okay, they are outside the temple. They are outside the ways of the Lord YAHAWASHI. Okay, and the royal privilege granted of special favor to the Jews. Okay, Judea, by the means which are the Benjamin, Levi, Judah, by the means of John, the father of Plumas, who went ambassador to Rome for a mint and eight. He took away and put it down the government which were according to the law. He brought a new customs against the law. Right. This is what I'm referring to, right? He bring out new customs against the law. You know, customs of the heathens. Okay. You know, when you continue to read Maccabees, it's about how, there was other, like eating abominable food, pork. Okay. See about how these 7 sons, okay, and that one mother, okay. These are these things that was being customs that were being introduced. Okay, eating abominable food, eating pork. Okay, exercising naked. Okay, you know, and many other idolatry. Okay, going the other way. You know, sexually. Okay, sexual immorality, worshiping other gods. Okay, parts. Um, the what was the other one? Participating in the heathen ceremony. I forget what it's called. Um, but you had your bore mark on your neck, or maybe I think your neck or face, like that sorority and the fraternity, right? You know, this is basically these are different things that are being introduced in the lifestyle of the Hebrew Israelites. Okay, which our forefather never participated in. Okay, and this is what you see now. Okay, you know, for he built gladly a place of exercise under the tower itself, and brought the chief young men under his suggestion, and made them wear hats. Again, wearing a hat is against our culture as well. Okay, it's not Hebrew Israelite. We wear turbans. Okay, we don't wear hats. That's Greek culture. That's Greek fashion. We don't wear hats. Okay, and our women don't wear hat either. That's not how they keep their head covered either, right? But you men, we don't we wear turbans. Okay, not hats, because the hat cover our ultimate cover the dome of our head, right, where our spirit's at, right. He cut off that spiritual connection to the Lord YAHAWASHI. Okay, so this is why we keep a turban. It doesn't cover that our dome. It keep our head open, our spirit open to YAHAWASHI, all right, to the spirit. spirit realm. Okay. Now such was the height of Greek fashion and increase of heathenish manners due to the exceeding profaneness of Jason that ungodly wretch and no high priest, right? Now you probably can look up many ways of how um, I guess there's not like that many details on them. But when you read here that he increased of heathenish manner. Okay, there was an increase of heathen manner, meaning what? The temple was profane, right? You know, the temple was profane. Okay, the temple was, they were doing wicked acts in the temple, around the temple. They were practicing wicked acts. Okay, you have to read through these things. Okay, you know, and understand when we speak about heathenish manner, heathens are non-Hebrew Israelites. Okay, they are strangers. You know, they are considered strangers. Okay, but they are non-Hebrew Israelites. You know, meaning what that they are not of the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay, and the Lord, and they ultimately they don't keep the ways of the Lord Yahweh. So you know they do heathenish things, right? You know that go against the ways of the Lord Yahweh. You know, whether that eating pork, eating abominable food. Okay, you know, wearing hats, etc. Those are heathenish manners. Okay, and Jason, he ultimately introduced because he's no high priest, right? Meaning what? He's not a righteous high priest, right? He's not a true man of the Lord Yahweh. Okay, you know he that's only that position. He only wanted that position to make Jake air. Okay, to make Jake go off. Said that the priest had no courage to serve the actual priest that was appointed. Okay, had no courage to serve any more of at the altar, but despising the temple and neglecting the sacrifices, hastened to be partakers of the unlawful allowance in the place of exercise after the game of discus calls them forth, right? And these, when you go in history of the different sports um, games that were taking place in Greek, they were all, dedicated to honoring a god. Okay, like the game of the Olympics was dedicated to honoring Zeus. Okay, when you look it up, you know, and you know, and when you in that, for example, like this modern day world, baseball. Okay, baseball, or baseball, they make Sunday mass richer. Okay, and by attending, when you go into discussion by attending or participating, you're feeding energy into a ritual. Most of the players, but not all, have no idea what's taking place. All right, so this is why, you know, when you go here, this is what Jacob's, Israel, Judah was doing. Okay, they were feeding their energy, okay, into a ritual. Whether that to a ritual to another god. Okay, or every the god of Zeus, which ultimately it was demons. Okay, they were, you know, going off. They were just, so the game of discus, right? You know, um, but yeah, again, So baseball, right? Just comparing because how these different sports, okay, whether it be baseball, football, basketball, all have Masonic ties, Masonic roots to it, right? So baseball is a occult Masonic ritual, okay, where even most of the players aren't aware of their actual role in the ritual itself, nor does the unaware audience of the masses watching the game ritual from home or at the stadium. You feel it's all about Masonic geometry that's based on the principle of six that represent the ego, and the game is entirely based upon the number three that represents the satanic trinity of Nimrod, Semiramis, and Tammuz. Okay, and when you look at how the shield is laid out, um, in design is designed as the Masonic square and compass. Okay, you know, so yeah, that's why we can't be giving our energy and time to these different sports as well, because when you give your energy time to watching baseball, playing baseball, you're giving your time to worshiping another god, okay, sacrificing to another god, um, whether you know it or whether you don't know it. So this is all you have to keep YAHAWASHI, our first, right? We had to keep YAHAWASHI, our first thought, okay, our you know, you should be only putting your energy, okay, into this word YAHAWASHI, right? You know, they're not fetching by the honors of their fathers, but liking the glory of the Grecians best of all. Okay, so meaning what? That they're not, that the priests, the leaders, okay, you know, and the people of the Judah, right? They're not respecting, okay, they're not willing to respect the ways of their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They're not willing to keep their ways, okay, you know, or they're not willing to participate in the ways of their father, but they're liking the glory of the Grecians. That's all. I mean, what they are looking at this Grecians, the Grecian way of life as a that goes back to that knowledge, that way as a new way of living. Okay, you know that's why you see many how many Jake are. That's why you see many Jake in groups like the um, Kappa. Okay, you know, they, what else? The different Grecian sororities and fraternities. Sorry, you know, many Jakes like that, right? Many Jakes, participate in these different Olympic games. Okay, because they like the way of the Grecian best of all. You know, they don't like they want to follow the ways of the Grecians. Okay, you know, by reason where sore calamity came upon them, for they had them to be their enemies and avengers, whose customs they followed so earnestly, and to whom they desired to be like in all things. Right, because these are their oppressors. Right, the Greeks were their oppressors. The Greek was, ultimately they were, the Greeks were, of course, powerful than Judea, right? And they were subjected to paying taxes to the Grecians, you know. And at the end of the day, the Grecians were their oppressors, right? And they wanted to be like their enemies, right? And this is why Scripture said, "Do not um, envy not the envy not God, even even not envy not the ways of the oppressor." Okay, and desire none of his way, right? Even not the person that desire none of his ways, right? In the Grecians was the Jake oppressors, right? The Greeks was Jake the nation the Jake oppressors, right? And Jake desired the ways of the Grecians, right? The ways of their lifestyle, okay, and that backfired on them, okay. There's what for sort of clemency came upon them, like the Lord, he wasn't gonna let. And it shows again that Yahweh he wasn't with us, okay. He wasn't righteously, he wasn't with us, right? So he ultimately punished his people for that, okay. For it's not a light thing to do wickedly against the laws of the Most High, but the time following should declare these things right. It's a heavy thing to do wickedly. That's you know just by Jake worshiping the or participating in the ways of the heathens, ways of the Grecians, they were going off. They were breaking laws, right? They wasn't keeping Yahweh Shashah the first thing the first. Okay, the first the first thought. Okay, they weren't keeping Yahweh Shashah. They wasn't sacrificing to Yahweh Shashah. They were sacrificing to these other gods. Okay, they wanted to sacrifice to these other gods. So I'm probably gonna bring out one more piece of and close. Let's see, Isaiah 9 and 15. For the leaders of this people cause them to err, and they that are led of them are destroyed. Right, and the leaders of the people, okay, during this particular point of this chapter, Second Maccabees chapter 4, 7 on down with Jason. Right, he was set up, okay, by Yahweh Shashah on the left hand side to be over the nation of Israel, to be a high priest. Right, and guess what? He was set up wickedly, okay, not righteously, but wickedly to cause the nation to err, to cause the nation to go off, and guess what? That's how our people got destroyed, okay, spiritually they got destroyed, okay, you know, they got turned out, they got sold out, okay, they got led to the they got they got led to that that led to the slaughter, okay, you know, spiritually, okay, and you know, so and our people, they look towards these, this is why scripture says that like, that Israel is, that my people is scholars, they have no knowledge. Okay, they wants to do evil, but to do good, they have no knowledge. You know, the good, the you know, our people are wise. They know how to do evil, right? They know how to do evil best of all. They know, but to do good, they have no knowledge. Doing good is what keeping the ways of the Lord. Okay, so in the next part, I'm going to go into a law. Okay, um, and the laws on um, and some more precepts, but ultimately the law and the commandments and the judgment that Jason you know ultimately got. Okay, he ultimately got judged by the Lord. That much I saw for for his wicked acts, right? That he did. ultimately, because he didn't repent. So the Lord ultimately judged him. I'm going to go into that in the next part. So stay tuned. Lord, well, I'll give all honor and praise to YAHAWASHI. That's to next conversation.